coach and you care about her, you're not doing this. You shouldn't be making the focus another statistic. You shouldn't be making the focus another fake something.
Angel Reese's journey in the WNBA has taken a dramatic turn. The league has handed down a lifetime suspension to the young star for using steroids, sending shockwaves through the basketball world. This isn't just a rumor for Reese. It's a decision that could end her career, and people can't stop talking about it.
Well, you knew they were going to come for you. You had to know that. Now, to the degree that they're doing so, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. You had a decisive advantage because they made the mistake of letting you know who they are, whoever those people are. That's not the case with all. It's not the case with most. But those who screech the loudest get the most attention sometimes. And that's what the worst of cynics and critics.
Let's break down what happened. Reese, at just 22 years old, was caught using performance-enhancing drugs. Now she's blaming her coach, Teresa Weatherspoon, claiming it was all Weatherspoon's idea.
Sports figures, are you kidding me? A woman that rebounds and shows up half-naked to games? They're just, anyway, there's so much I want. Just start with the sports.
But here's the thing. At 22, Reese is well past the age where she can claim ignorance. She's a professional athlete who should know the rules inside and out.
You shouldn't be doing that. You're hurting her, and then you're hurting your other players.
This case is different because the punishment is much harsher than usual. Normally, when professional athletes are caught using steroids, they get suspended for 20 games or maybe a season. But a lifetime ban? That's extremely rare. It shows how seriously the WNBA is treating this violation. Let's look back at 2017. NBA player Joakim Noah tested positive for a banned substance and received a 20-game suspension. He served his time and came back to play. Reese won't get that chance. Her career in the WNBA was over before it really began.
Caitlin Clark showed up, and this is proof that her life is 10 times as hard as, to get the same credit.
People were actually watching her play basketball, so that added stress of the much bigger audience certainly came into play. I don't want to say scrutiny, but coverage is another way of lowering the bar. And I'm going to say this again. This is a Confucius mantra. The standards they set for you is what they really think of you.
So why did Reese take such a massive risk? It all comes down to one name, Caitlin Clark. When Reese joined the Chicago Sky, she was hyped as the next big thing in women's basketball. But Clark was out there breaking records left and right, dominating the league in her rookie season.
Since the Marina Mabry trade, and she has stepped up her game in that opportunity. Caitlin Clark for three, rattles it around for her first deep shot.
Well, she's definitely...
Reese, on the other hand, was struggling to make an impact.
And that's what makes Caitlin Clark so dangerous. That's what makes Caitlin Clark worthy of destruction.
The pressure to keep up with Clark's amazing performance must have been overwhelming. Reese was barely hitting double digits in half of her first 10 games, and the constant harsh comparisons to Clark made it even worse. Feeling the need to stay competitive, Reese made the terrible decision to use steroids for an edge.
You just wanted attention. You were being an attention whore. And so, because your basketball couldn't do it, you went to other things. It's like a kid that can't get attention from its parents. They start acting out.
Even with the performance-enhancing drugs, Reese still couldn't match Clark's success.
Look, I think it's a blessing and a curse because, sometimes you look at, well, Caitlin Clark got her team wrong. That's different. You can't judge your team's success by somebody else's success. I don't know what they were expecting.
Clark was out there scoring 761 points in her rookie season, all while staying clear of any controversy. Reese, despite the artificial boost, still needed to catch up.
Yeah, it's very disappointing. I saw that spoon, Teresa Weatherspoon. She was a WNBA player, unbelievable player. She got terminated today from the Chicago Sky. I don't understand that decision.
This scandal isn't just about Reese. Her coach, Teresa Weatherspoon, is in trouble too. Weatherspoon has been suspended, accused not only of ignoring Reese's steroid use, but actually supporting it. Instead of focusing on proper training and strategy to help Reese improve, Weatherspoon allegedly backed the idea to juice her up. This is a huge downfall for Weatherspoon. Once a respected figure in women's basketball, she's now caught in one of the WNBA's biggest scandals. Her choice to put Reese ahead of the rest of the team has completely backfired.
Chicago Sky said goodbye to Teresa Weatherspoon, saying that it was time to, quote, make a change. And that change meant that Teresa Weatherspoon had to make her exit.
The impact of this scandal goes beyond just Reese and Weatherspoon. It has affected the entire Chicago Sky team. Before the Olympic break, the team was doing well in the league. But after the break, when Reese's steroid use was likely at its peak, the team's performance dropped sharply. They finished the season with a disappointing 13-27 record, far below what fans and analysts had hoped for. The Chicago Sky organization isn't taking this lying down. They've filed a lawsuit against Reese, accusing her of more than just breaking league rules. According to the Sky, Reese's actions tanked their playoff hopes and destroyed team morale. They claim that her steroid use didn't boost the team's performance. This lawsuit reveals a locker room in complete chaos. Players were frustrated, the team chemistry was shattered, and trust had completely fallen apart. The Sky went from being a united team to a group of individuals simply going through the motions, all because of the actions of one player and her enabling coach. The impact on the WNBA as a whole can't be overstated. The league has been fighting hard for more visibility and respect, trying to grow its fan base and step out of the NBA's shadow. A scandal of this magnitude threatens to undo years of progress. It raises questions about the league's ability to police its players and maintain the integrity of the game.
You're a coach and you care about her. You're not doing this. You shouldn't be making the focus another statistic. You shouldn't be making the focus another fake something.
Weatherspoon's reputation has been completely ruined. As a coach, her role was to develop talent, create a strong team, and maintain the integrity of the game. Instead, she's accused of enabling one of the biggest violations in sports. Her suspension sends a clear message from the WNBA that this kind of behavior won't be tolerated no matter who you are. This scandal has caused a big argument. Some people think Reese's punishment is too tough, while others say it's right to stop athletes from cheating. It's not just about Reese and her coach, but also about fairness in sports. Young athletes, especially girls, feel a lot of pressure to do well and be famous. Even though what Reese did was wrong, it shows that athletes need more help to handle this pressure. Looking ahead, the WNBA faces a challenging road. They need to reassure fans, sponsors, and players that this was an isolated incident and not indicative of a larger problem in the league. They'll need to review and possibly strengthen their drug testing policies. Most importantly, they'll need to find a way to shift the narrative back to the incredible talent and exciting games that the league is known for. For other players in the league, this serves as a stark warning. The temptation to take shortcuts might be strong, especially when you're struggling to keep up with star players like Caitlin Clark. But as Reese's case shows, the risks far outweigh any potential rewards. The Chicago Sky now face the task of rebuilding, not just their team, but their reputation. They'll need to prove to fans that they can bounce back from this scandal and field a competitive team without Reese. It's a tall order, but one that could ultimately make the organization stronger. As for Reese and Weatherspoon, their futures in basketball look bleak. A lifetime ban is hard to come back from, and the stain on their reputations will be difficult to erase. They might find opportunities in other leagues or in coaching at lower levels, but their dreams of WNBA stardom are effectively over. This scandal raises important questions about the role of coaches in sports. How much should they be responsible for their players' actions? Should Weatherspoon have done more to stop Reese from using steroids? The WNBA will likely review its rules for coaches. As the dust settles, people are also wondering how to better support young athletes under pressure, balance exciting performances with fair play, and keep athletes honest without causing mistrust. What do you think about this situation? Is the punishment too harsh, or is it exactly what's needed to keep the sport clean? How can the WNBA recover from this and continue to grow its audience? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. The conversation around this issue is just beginning, and your voice matters in shaping the future of women's basketball.
It's bogus, obviously. Caitlin Clark almost unanimous, -1. Angel Reese received one first place vote for Rookie of the Year.
The WNBA is in the news again, but not for great games or amazing shots. This time, it's about a drama involving a famous player who seems to have forgotten what basketball is really about. Sheryl Swoopes, the first player ever signed to the WNBA, has been fired. Why? She voted against Caitlin Clark for Rookie of the Year. Yes, the same Caitlin Clark who broke records and amazed fans during her short time in the WNBA. Swoopes has won many championships and awards in her career, but this time, she went too far. She voted for Angel Reese instead of Clark, even though everyone knew Clark deserved to win.
WNBA, I mean, they're driving me bat blank crazy because, well, they won't shut up. It's like drama after drama, and I guess it's smart. She told us women in sports don't want to see other women in sports succeed. Now, Sheryl Swoopes certainly is #1 on that hit parade.
The WNBA players are creating a lot of drama lately. It's one thing after another, and maybe they're doing it to keep people talking. But Swoopes took it too far. She said women in sports don't want other women to succeed. Well, Sheryl, you're the perfect example of that now. Reese wasn't even close to being as good as Clark, but Swoopes thought she could get away with this vote. Someone said Swoopes gets to vote. Well, that didn't work out well for her, did it? Now she's lost her job, and it seems fair. What's happening to Swoopes now is what she deserves. You probably agree. It's clear bias and jealousy. It's a Swoopes problem.
Sheryl Swoopes now has come up with her new excuse. It's not Caitlin Clark. I like Caitlin Clark. It's a hater fan. Tweeting out, FYI, I was never supposed to do the game.
Let's go back to October 3rd, 2024. It was a big day for the WNBA. Everyone was excited because Caitlin Clark, the amazing rookie, was playing in her first playoff game. People couldn't wait to see it. Clark had been playing incredibly well all season. She was the WNBA's new star. Basketball fans were glued to their TVs waiting to see her play, and she did play amazingly, just like she had all year. During the playoffs, they announced the Rookie of the Year. Everyone knew Clark would win. She had been the best player all season. When they said her name as the winner, no one was surprised. It was obvious. But then we found out something strange. Clark got 66 out of 67 first-place votes. Who didn't vote for her? Everyone was shocked. Then we learned it was Sheryl Swoopes. Yes, the famous Sheryl Swoopes had voted for Angel Reese instead. Everyone in the WNBA world was stunned. Swoopes is a big deal in basketball. She's won 3 WNBA MVPs, 4 championships, and an Olympic gold medal. She's in the Hall of Fame, and yet she voted against Clark, who had played better than anyone all season.
Never supposed to do the game. Also, I do not hate Caitlin. It's a lot of her fans that are just flat out mean and evil.
People online were angry. Why would someone like Swoopes make such a strange choice? It was clear she wasn't voting based on how well the players had played. There was something else going on. We found out that Swoopes had been supporting Reese all season. She wasn't just cheering for her. She made it clear she was voting for Reese because of race, not skill. She even said, "I will always support my race." At the time, people didn't think much of it. But now, with this vote, it meant something different.
A lot of people had been speculating if Sheryl Swoopes was going to cover this game because up until now, she has not been able to say anything nice about Caitlin Clark, nor has she been able to even speak her name.
Turns out, Swoopes had been in Reese.
Fans were really angry. This wasn't just about Clark not getting a vote. It was about what that vote meant. Clark had played amazingly in the WNBA. She scored an average of 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. She even got her team, the Indiana Fever, into the playoffs for the first time in almost 10 years. And for what? To lose a vote to Angel Reese, who played well but wasn't nearly as good as Clark.
Is a catastrophic meltdown. She's throwing away her reputation and friendships and relevancy. It's Caitlin Clark derangement syndrome. It's unchecked bigotry and jealousy.
Swoopes openly admitted her